Hey guys, so um there are a few videos, I think about 8, that I wasn't happy. I don't think I did my best talking about them, so I decided to do like a redo on the plays and just talk about them in greater depth. I honestly, I guess I was tired and I just missed some of the thematic elements and stuff. So the first one I want to talk about again is Brothers Menaechmus by Plautus. Although there's not much known about Plautus, we know he was born in 254 BC and died in 184 BC. His greatest influence was Livius Andronicus and the Greeks. All his plays are fairly original and unlike anyone else with their stock characters and their language and um eliminating the chorus and just the way they were presented. Um, Now, the Romans didn't want to copy the customs of the Greeks. And one thing is, they usually took down their theater in a day. I mean, they wanted the Romans to be entertained by theater. However, at the same time, they didn't want to take on any Greek customs. So, what they did is they try to make it as while they're certainly influenced by the Greeks, they kind of branched away. This play was actually sung most of the time, interestingly enough. Um, and so that is kind of like the Greeks have their plays were sung. So the chorus, these were sung by main characters, and then this has had a lot of influence on our comedy. And in my analysis, I will be talking about how this has influenced comedy, but I just want to talk about some of the influences. So we have Serpent for Two Masters, One Man, Two Governors. Then we have Comedy Bears by Shakespeare. And Serpent for Two Masters is Gold Johnny, who influenced One Man for Two Governors. One Man, Two Governors. I don't know who wrote that. That's a contemporary play. The Comedy Bears also led to Boys from Syracuse, which is a musical on Rogers and Hart. But I will be talking more about the influence this play has had on comedy, since it's Plautus' best work. It's unknown when he exactly wrote this. It's sometime during his life, but he wrote in Rome, Italy. This play was a farce, which is obvious, and so let's talk about the plot. So Menaechmus, a friend of one of the brothers, Menaechmus, who what happened in this play in the background, the brothers were separated at birth. Well, not at birth, shortly after birth. One brother went with his father somewhere, and then his father, left him behind, or got separated from him, and somebody took him in. And then the father died, and the grandfather raised the other brother and changed his name. And so one day his brother goes to look for him. Anyway, but the other brother kept his name, Menaechmus. So both brothers were by birth named Menaechmus. Anyway, so one brother has a friend, the one from, Syracuse. His friend Epigenus makes himself known as a parasite. Kind of leeching on these people. So Menaechmus plans to get his wife's mantle to this prostitute Herodian, and he gives it to her, and then she tells her cook to make food for free for Menaechmus and herself. So the other brother comes to Epigenus. Sorry. Okay, I was confused. This play is meant to confuse, I guess. Okay, so the first brother is from Epidamus, the other one's from Syracuse. So the Syracuse brother comes with a slave and he asks for his purse. And then Cylindrus, the cook, mistakes them for Peniculus and Menaechmus. And then Herodium enters, and then there's a misunderstanding between them. And Peniculus comes and he talks about being left behind, and he sees his brother, and then brother denies him, and he's like, I'm gonna threaten you, I'm gonna tell your wife, so he threatens him. So she gives the mantle back to this brother, who gives it to his servant to take away. So Peniculus tells the wife, and the other brother the first brother is confronted by his wife for the mantle and shuts him out. So Herodian, when he gets to Herodian and says, okay, give me my mantle back, and he's like, I gave it to you, and he's like, no, you didn't, you're a thief, she turns him away. So the wife talks to the other brother, and when she sees the mantle, she sends for her father, and she talks to him, and they think that he's gone mad, so this father guy, he searches for a doctor, and he says he's going to treat his Syracuse brother. He tries to take him away. So, Messino, the servant, returns, and the Epidamus brother is confused, and he, actually decides to free Messino, who rescues him when they try to take him away. So, I made a mistake. They don't take Syracuse away, they try to take Epidamus away. And Messino rescues him. So, he goes into the house, and then Syracuse tells Messino that he's not free. But then, everything's resolved when they see each other, and the brothers are reunited. And in the end, Messino, the servant, is free. So it's a happy ending. And gumbo. I like to cook gumbo. I know I'm gonna try to get the camera angle on it. Yes, I cook this every weekend. I love me some Cajun food. Oh mama. Okay. So, characters. One parallel I want to draw parallels to Shakespeare. Since I am talking about Shakespeare right now, I do want to draw parallels between these characters and one of my favorite Shakespearean plays, Comedy of Errors. So, Menaechmus of Epidamus has parallels with the Antipholus of Ephesus, while Syracuse with Syracuse. The wife with, I'd say, Adriana. Messino with Dromio of Syracuse, Peniculus with Dromio of Ephesus. And Herodium, I would say Luciana, the cook or the maidservant Luce, and the doctor Pinch, and old man the Duke. So, had the influence on Shakespeare's comedy there, which wasn't reviewed in 110 Play Challenge. But another strong parallel between these characters that Plautus made, these stock characters, are those in something called Commedia dell'arte, which is an Italian form drama where they'd put on masks and they'd improvise scenes and they'd have troops and they'd have stock characters. So, where these characters get into the commedia realm? Well, Menaechmus, Adapidamus, and Syracuse are the Inamorta, which are the lovers. A wife is basically combination of Inamorta and Signora, which is the domineering wife. Messino and Peniculus are Zannies, which are commoners. Peniculus is more, I'd say, Briella. I'd say Messino is more Harlequin. Initially, I reversed the two, but now thinking back, Harlequin is the more, or Arlecchino is the more dominant role, and Briella is more of a peasant, more of a leech, actually. Rodian is definitely Columbina in Commedia. Columbina is the maid or the whore. Servants such as CEO, maidservant, cook, other Zannies, and then Doctor is Dottore, Il Dottore, which is one of the old men, and the old man is definitely Pantalone, which is like the father figure. So as you see, both on Shakespearean comedy and commedia, which then influenced Servant for Two Masters, you see all these stock characters form, and stock characters, as I'm about to talk about analysis, just want to touch on themes first. It's stock characters are an important part of comedy. They're very vital. Now, the themes for me, one of the themes I saw on display is misogyny, with Menaechmus and his wife, and him cheating on his wife, and the way the wife was portrayed as domineering. There are some misogynistic things, and people like to laugh at their marriages, so it was common for this kind of thing, these kinds of jokes. Your wife's a bitch, you know. Identity is the other main theme in this play. Let me go back to misogyny, because the play doesn't end with lovers ending, like a lover's ending. It ends with brothers ending together and going off. So it's not like all these lovers get gathered together. It's far from that. And that's why it's kind of like celebrates men rather than men and women. Saying the bond between brothers stronger than the bond between man and woman, bros before hoes, if you get what I mean. But identity, there's all this confusion, and it deals with the who are we question, and so yeah, I'd say both identity and misogyny are important to this play. But what I really want to talk about, which I've been waiting to talk about, foundations of comedy. This the foils and plots, like the complications and misunderstandings, the physical comedy, the language, misunderstandings, stock characters, masks. This is all influenced situational comedy, our TV and film. I'd say probably the first influential writer that has affected our modern cinema and our modern television is Plautus. I mean, for the Greeks, I'd say that was more theater influence, but affected the Elizabethans. But from I think the most contemporary of the playwrights in the Greeks and Romans was Plautus. So, it's important to understand that. My criticism of this play, I mean, it would have been nicer to see, like, a lovers thing going on, and more sex going on, because that kind of more innuendo, more sexual things going on. However, it's brilliantly crafted. A little bit short. I think some characters could then develop more and being into stronger stock characters. Now, this play does relate to a play I've recently read, which was 12 and 8, very much. But since I'm only talking about the plays that I've read before Brothers Menaechmus, I wouldn't say that any play has had this kind of writing or these kinds of themes. So it was all pretty new, other than the idea of marriage, which was in Medea, the cheating in Medea and cheating in Agamemnon. This is a much more comic way to look at it. So, anyway, that's all I have for this, and I will be making a video of Oedipus shortly, and then 2 bonus videos, and tonight before I go to bed, Macbeth. So, yeah.